On August 5, 2010, 33 men went to work inside a copper mine in Chile's Atacama desert. None of them knew it would be the last time they'd see the sky for 69 days. The San Jose mine was old, dangerous. Workers had complained for years, but the jobs paid well, so every morning the men went down. At 2:01 p.m., 700 meters underground, a rock slab the size of a 45-story building shifted. The mountain swallowed itself. Above ground, a cloud of white dust erupted from the mine entrance. Families waiting nearby watched in silence. They already knew. Below, in complete darkness and choking dust, 33 men took stock of what they had. A small emergency shelter, canned food and water meant to last 2 days, and no way out. Rescue attempts began immediately, but every drill broke, every tunnel collapsed. On the surface, engineers said quietly what no one wanted to say out loud. The men were probably already dead. The first 17 days, before any contact was made, are the part of this story that most people never hear about, because what happened down there was extraordinary. The food was rationed to 2 spoonfuls of tuna and half a glass of milk every 48 hours. Grown men, miners, fathers, grandfathers, were slowly starving in the dark. And this is where the psychology becomes remarkable. Because despite the hunger, the heat, the darkness, and the very real possibility of death, they organized. A shift foreman named Luis Ursua divided the men into 3 teams: work teams, exploration teams, support teams. He gave them jobs. He gave them purpose. Because he understood something critical. Psychologists call it behavioral activation. When the brain loses hope, it needs structure to survive. Idle minds in crisis spiral toward panic. Working minds stay functional. They created a democracy. Every major decision, food rationing, resource use, rescue communication, was voted on. 33 men, buried alive, running a functioning government. They also designated zones, a sleeping area, a bathroom area, kept separate to preserve dignity, a meeting space. They were recreating civilization 700 meters below it. On day 17, a drill broke through the rock above them. They heard it. They rushed toward the sound, and they did something that would shock the rescuers above. They attached a note. 8 words, written by a man who refused to accept death. Estamos bien en el refugio, los 33. We are fine in the shelter, the 33 of us. Above ground, when the drill came back up with that note, a rescue worker began to cry. Cameras captured it. Within hours, the whole world knew they were alive, but they were still trapped. The rescue shaft would take months to drill. The men had survived 17 days. Now they had to survive the waiting. Psychologists were brought in, not to rescue them, to keep their minds intact. Because the team above ground knew physical survival was only half the battle. They were given tasks, sent equipment, asked to document everything. They became part of their own rescue operation, participants, not victims. That distinction saved lives. They exercised, they held Sunday prayer services, some wrote letters. One miner, Edison Peña, ran laps through the mine tunnels every single day, sometimes 10 kilometers. But there were cracks, arguments, tension. The heat underground reached 35 degrees. Men who had barely known each other were now living in closer proximity than prison cells. The rescue team above tried to control information. They didn't tell the miners how long the drilling would take, because the psychological research was clear. Open-ended uncertainty is more destructive than bad news. On October 9th, day 65, the rescue shaft broke through the final rock layer. 33 men heard the sound they had been waiting 65 days to hear, the sound of the outside world coming to get them. On October 13, 2010, the rescue capsule, named Phoenix, descended into the earth. The first miner to be brought up was Florencio Abalos. He had been underground for 69 days. One by one, they came up. Each man stepped out into a world that had been watching, crying, waiting. 22 hours later, the last man surfaced, Luis Ursua, the foreman, last to leave. But here's what the news never covered. In the months after, many of the 33 miners developed severe PTSD, depression, and anxiety. A miraculous rescue doesn't erase 69 days of psychological trauma. Several struggled to re-enter normal life. Some reported being unable to sleep unless they were in small enclosed spaces. The mine had rewired their brains. Safety had become darkness. Edison Pena, the miner who ran 10 kilometers a day underground, ran the New York City Marathon 6 weeks after his rescue. He crossed the finish line in tears. Running had become his medicine. What the Chilean miners proved, what the neuroscience confirms, is that the human mind is not built for passivity. Structure, purpose, community, these are not luxuries. They are survival tools. 33 men went into that mountain. 33 came out. Not because the rock gave way, but because they refused to let the darkness win. That's the breaking point. Enjoyed the video? Then please like and subscribe to the channel.